on this miserable day in Kent. Horrible. This is going to be a small video, live video, so hopefully some people will start watching me. First things first, do me some favours, hit the notification bells, like and subscribe, share my channel. It's a very simple channel at the moment. We just talk about Tottenham, we just talk about the basic things, we talk about reality. I'm a realist Spurs fan, so I don't really talk about too many things that are fabricated. And so yeah, today is all about analysing the squad first. So let's first things do a few bits and pieces. So tonight's game, Leeds United at home under the lights at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Listen, I'm expecting a big performance, expecting a positive attitude, and expecting to go forward. Look, I think the team that wins tonight wins the midfield battle. I think that's the one. Spurs midfield, Paulinho, Bentancur and Gallagher. I expect all three of them to start again. I expect an unchanged team, and I expect a similar team, and same kind of attitude really. But saying that, our home form has been terrible, and we have really struggled at home against average teams, let alone good teams. So I expect it is a possibility that Tottenham won't even bother showing up, and that's a sad reality of Tottenham Hotspur. Unfortunately, over the years we've seen it time and time again. Tonight, Spurs win tonight, puts them 4 points ahead of West Ham. I think they only need to get a point out of the last two games, especially if West Ham drop points against Newcastle away. They will be mathematically down because they won't be able to win enough games to keep themselves in a good position. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a tough one, and we are expecting it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a bit end to end. But yeah, I'm staying positive. I'm thinking that Tottenham can really do a good deed tonight. We need 3 points, not a point. 3 points is a minimum, and we need that team to start 1,000 miles an hour, coming out the traps and really taking the game to Leeds United. And there are some pluses on the side of Leeds. They've got no Onkafor, he's out injured. I think Goodmanson, I think his name is, he's out as well. And another player called Pascal Schrick, he's a doubt, possibly could start. These are the three best players, I believe. So, but yeah, as I said before, I'm expecting an unchanged team from the team that beat Villa. So we need high energy, we need high pressing, we need closing down, we need to press high, win the ball back up high. They're the kind of performances we need. You know, Leeds are a decent side, and you know, they're no mugs, and they'll be set up quite well. The only good thing on our side is that they are safe, mathematically safe. So therefore, they're not under any pressure to get 3 points. But it doesn't mean that they're not going to try to get 3 points. So we know that is a minimum. Yeah, look, I expect Tottenham to play well, but at the same time, as I said before, it doesn't put it past me to see Tottenham not turn up. I think that is they're more than capable of putting on a shit show whenever they feel like it. This bunch of players. Some say that. I think we will have enough to get over the thing, and with the home crowd, will be electric tonight, cheering them on. I fully expect it to be a good game. So I expect the same team. I expect Kinski in goal, Porro, Danso, Van der Ven, and probably Udogie. Midfield three of Paulinho, Bentancur and Gallagher, and up front Tell, Mawani and Richarlison. That's the team I expect to start. We might see James Maddison at some point. we never know. He might start, but I doubt very much that De Zerbi is going to drop Gallagher after the performance he put in against Villa. So he probably won't risk him, and probably will try to introduce him later in the game if he is ready. So it's going to be a different team, a different style of game to Villa, because Leeds will really go for it. But yeah, look, fingers crossed. Say 3 points tonight if we can get them. Then all the pressure is on West Ham. If they go to Newcastle and they drop points, they will be down, and Spurs will be in the Premier League for one more season at least. But I'm expecting, if we do stay up, that De Zerbi will turn this team into a proper side next season and get the best out of them. So well, let's see. Let's stay positive and try to think on the right manner. So that takes us on to the next topic, which is basically if we stay up, which players we expect to leave. I, for one, think that it's the end of the road for people like Basuma. I think that Solanke could go, Vicario, Romero, wait for it, Van der Ven. I think Van der Ven could go. And I'll be honest with you, and I've said this quite a few times on my channel before, the hype behind Romero and Van der Ven is exceedingly high. And what we need to understand is that although Van der Ven on his day can be a top player, let's use him for example, first of all, he could be a very good player and a very useful player. He has been effectively part of a defence that has conceded about 160 goals in 3 seasons. So Postecoglou's system conceded hatfuls of goals, and Van der Ven was in that team. Yeah, there were days when games when he was injured, and that was fair enough. But he was a part of that team. And this season we've conceded goals hand over fist, and he's been pretty much fit all season. So you've got to turn around and put him in that ilk. And the first season as well, under Postecoglou, we conceded a lot. I think we conceded like 50 in the first season. Second season we conceded like 63, and this season we've conceded, I don't know, 50, 60 goals. So yeah, they are just truth, whether or not that is the truth of the matter. On his day, Van der Ven can get good goals. He can push himself forward. He can be a real influencing player. But it's too and far between. And that takes me to Romero. That is a player that you just can't count on. Despite him being a World Cup winner and all this, is a player that you cannot count on for shit. Because at the end of the day, he's supposed to be the captain of the team, yet getting sent off every week, or every month. He's missed 12 matches this season. 12 matches, yeah, through suspension or injury, yeah. Through suspension. That's without him being injured, yeah. That is a huge amount of games out of 38 games in a Premier League season that you're losing, your captain, supposedly, and one of your best defenders. And I actually think, and people might turn around and say to me, Gareth, you're crazy, but I actually think Danso's a better defender. I think he's more disciplined. He doesn't get sent off. He is far more reliable than what Romero is. So I don't think it'll be a bad thing for Spurs if they end up getting 2 new centre-backs. I mean, obviously, we've already seen that if they stay up, they're going to get Andy Robinson on a free. They're going to get Marco Senesi, I think it is, from Bournemouth. He's a good player, a really good defender. And they've been linked with Van Hecke from Brighton as well. So, what Spurs need is 2 decent, solid, old-school centre-backs at the back that can just keep us tight at the back. Again, with Porro, I really like Porro as a player. Going forward, he can be an absolute fantastic player. Defensively, really suspect. And the thing is, when we're going to be playing next season in a De Zerbi system where we're going to be pressing high and stuff like that, we need to make sure that our defence is able to cope with counter-attacks and that kind of stuff. And that's why it didn't work under Postecoglou, because they were always inverting as number 10s into the midfield. And it caused us to be open always at the back and caused us a lot of trouble. So I mean, whether or not a lot of Spur fans agree with what I'm turning around and saying, that's another thing. But at the end of the day, this is the truth. That is what we see week in, week out for the last 2, 3, 4 seasons. That's what we've seen. So nothing's going to change unless we change that. So I honestly think that, to be honest, this squad needs a massive overhaul. We need some proper grafting players that are going to play for the team, for the badge, give it everything, fight, and that's what teams like Leeds and Bournemouth and Brighton have. They have players that are willing to fight, fight for fight for the badge and stuff like that. You know, just reading some of the comments here. It's so funny when you read people like Steve Dancy writing, "Enjoy your stint in the lower leagues." He's obviously a West Ham fan. Yeah, so he's got to be a rival, hasn't he? If he's criticising, but I don't really engage in that kind of thing because at the end of the day, we can all. There's no point reacting to stupid comments when you've got trolls in the in the in the in the comments. Just learn more about football, mate. So yeah, but I'm no way in this earth sitting there suggesting that Tottenham have been fantastic season. It's been an absolute shambles. Last year was a shambles as well. The board have got a lot of answer for, and so have the players. And at the end of the day, you want your team to be doing really, really well week in, week out. I don't believe that Spurs have ever had the best recruitment, really, and bought the best players they could have done for the best price. They've always kind of gone for the cheaper options, which is the Daniel Levy and an Enoch situation. But they worked within the confines of what they could afford. I think the biggest problem with Spurs is the wage cap, not being able to attract the better players for the better money. We could have signed a Casemiro from Real Madrid. We could have done. Yeah, we could afford his transfer fee, but they weren't prepared to. They wouldn't be prepared to pay the 300 or 400,000 pound a week that he's on. Yet they make that on fucking hot dogs a week. You know what I mean? So, it just just doesn't make sense. And I think that's the biggest problem with Spurs is they're very short-sighted in terms of ambition. But saying that, win, lose or draw, Tottenham till I die. From Tottenham, so at the end of the day, I'm going to always support them no matter whether they're in the Premier League or they're in the lower leagues. It doesn't bother me. So things like comments like from people turning around saying, "Oh, enjoy your Lee in the stints in the lower leagues," doesn't really hurt me because at the end of the day, I am a Spurs fan and I'm more about the overall than just the small little narratives that people create. At the end of the day, I will be until I die. So yeah, that doesn't hurt me. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't certainly piss me off. But naturally, you want your team to do better, and maybe it will happen. But we'll see. But anyway, I'm going to go because I've got to go somewhere. But have a great day. I'm going to try to have a great day later on, and hopefully find some time to be able to reflect on tonight. Hopefully we'll win and have a good day. And come on, you Spurs, like and subscribe, share my channel, and leave positive comments, please. Cheers. Take care. Bye bye.